Hi, welcome to another episode of Slay with me, Leigh M. Clark. I'm here with Shay Edwards, the CEO of Boss Up Braiding. Obviously national, international like reach, but based in Central Florida in Orlando. Shay's actually in our upcoming book, Slaying Orlando. So welcome to the show and tell them a little bit about your chapter.
Hello everyone. My name is Shay Edwards, and a little bit about my chapter is I'm going to be talking about the beauty industry and my journey through the beauty industry and how I've navigated that to find success with its many challenges.
Amazing. And I was just like hyping her off camera, but like if you don't know her, definitely follow her. Huge success story from just like having a dream to do hair to literally partnering. Forgot to mention she's also an educator with Ashtay, if I didn't. But she's like moved into this huge space of being a high earner who's also empowering so many other artists to like do hair in a celebratory way. And I will say before we get into questions, one thing I love is that she actually has these competitions among all of the stylists, right? I'm right about this, right? In they kind of have like a hair well, they do have a hair competition where everybody's putting out their like unique and different styles and sharing it with the followers online, and they get a lot of great results and feedback, and it's so cool if you look on the page to see the level of creativity. I mean, your level of work is like obviously superior, but I think you really foster the creativity and the best in others by these types of things. So I think that's amazing. With that, we're going to play 10 Ways to Slay. I'm going to ask you five, maybe six. You're going to ask me five. So to start with, why hair? When did you get started? What was your fascination with hair?
I started doing hair at 3 years old. I
Amazing.
learned how to do my first braid at 3 years old. Saw my cousin doing it. I asked her, can she show me? She did. It was a big deal because what 3-year-old can braid? And so from there, my love went from the dolls to actual people in my home, my sister, my cousins that would come over. And to by the time I was in middle school, it was the neighbors and the friends. And in high school, it was their extension of all the people that I knew in school. And coming out of high school, I just knew this is what I want to do. And so the fascination started very, very early. I'm one of those people that always knew what I wanted to do at a very, very young age. And I'm thankful for it because a lot of times people don't know. They're like searching, like, what is that thing I love? But I'm blessed to have known that my whole life.
That's amazing. Almost like a pop star knows that she wants to sing.
Very similar, very, very similar. So I have a question for you. What made you want to slay the entire USA?
Yeah, I mean, it started with a book called Slaying Southwest Florida, which is where I live in Cape Coral. I wanted to know about the women in my community, honestly. Like I'd been to a million years of networking with them, 10 years. And I was like, I don't know why she has so many kids. What happened to her dad? Why did she go to Dubai? Like, I just selfishly wanted to know about the women in my community. But when I told those stories and I saw how empowering it was for the women who wrote, and how empowered that the readers felt by reading it, how seen people felt by like being able to relate to one another. It created a bigger connection than I had planned for. And I was like, I got to do more of this. Like, it was just kind of that God wink, that whatever that pulls you forward. And then it was Tampa. And then it was fun because I've traveled the country for like 20 years in my corporate job working for like Microsoft and Salesforce. They had me in New York. They'd fly me from New York to Salt Lake City before I went back to Florida without telling me. I'd be like packed to go home and I have to like winter up and go out to Salt Lake City. So I've literally done the US, like, and now to get to go back and tell the stories like Vegas, for example, which we just did, which is coming up before you guys. Next we have Naples and then Orlando. But Vegas, like I've been to Vegas, like people go to Vegas for sales conferences with my parents for my 21st birthday, like, and I'm like, but what about the people who make this happen? Like, it's like saying Orlando is Disney. It's like saying everyone in Orlando works in the park or like knows. I wanted to know really what are the communities like behind the scenes. And that's why Orlando came shortly after Vegas, because I feel like one is like the adult wonderland and one is like the kids wonderland. And yet there is like a behind the screen. So that's really what got me started. I'm curious though, for you, when you went to like traditional salons, because obviously you created something that's a different experience. what was it that you liked or didn't like about the traditional ways people go to get their hair braided? And like, what did you want to create instead?
So my thought process for doing things the way that I do them came from the feedback I was getting from people, more so than me seeing other people do it a certain way. I'm always big on individuality. So, I feel like there are different people for a reason. Everybody has a different approach for their own personal reasons. And I believe in tribes. Something that I always say all the time is that there are 8.3 billion people in the world. I am one person. I don't want to have to do every single person's hair. So there's enough people to go around for everybody. And so it's just for each person to find the tribe that fits their stylist. And so that was my big thing. For me, there's going to be a certain type of personality that gravitate towards me, but how do I fully cater to that group of people? And so for me, I just started to listen. I did more listening than I did talking. And I found that they had some real pain points. So, as business owners, you know how we have pain points and we're looking for solutions to our pain points. So do our customers, so do our clients. And so they were, voicing those complaints and, pain points from, oh, well, I just moved here to Orlando from wherever in the world, and I'm looking for someone to braid back home. I used to like this, I used to like that. Or maybe they've just moved to Orlando and had four, five other braiders do their hair, but every time I go, it was this. Or they didn't, they told me to come at a certain time, but then they weren't there. They didn't show up for 2 or 3 hours. They just had so many types of gripes. And so I listened to those gripes. And then I formulated a system, a systematic approach to how I deal with my clients, what they get when they sit in the chair. Like, it's a whole experience that I created based on solving their pain point. And so that's really what this is. It's not, to me, technically different, but if people take the time out to listen, survey your clients, and like do check-ins. Like, I do an annual check-in where I'll do like a list of questions and ask for feedback every year to know how I can improve, and like really take that to heart and make those changes for your clients.
I love that you have such like a you're like just mentally involved in the way that you approach your business, both from the generosity of spirit, there's more than enough for everybody, but also, in the wanting feedback, wanting to learn, wanting to grow, listening to understand, not listening to respond. Like there's just so much in what you said beyond what you said that's important for people to gravitate to as business owners and as citizens of the world. Look for the feedback, look for ways to improve. What can you do better? But also, I think you've really had a pretty destined course, and your humbleness and your humility in an industry where a lot of people are showboating, I think it's very refreshing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And in that same vein, like of just kind of, seeing where you want to go and how you want to navigate things, how do you choose which city you're going to slay next?
That's fun. Yeah. So, first I went with like places like I wanted to either experience or know better. I had spent an entire summer in Atlanta for work 1 year, so I really wanted to know like who were the women in the community beyond that, and Nashville. This next year, now that I've gone full time, I left my corporate job in the beginning of August. So I'm 1 month in on full time. I just mapped
Congratulations.
up, thank you. I've now mapped out the year, and I really wanted to like be as thorough as possible. So we added Honolulu, so we can literally go all the way, which sounds crazy. My boyfriend's still like, we're not really doing Sling Honolulu. I'm like, no, 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 we are for real. But yeah, where do we want to go? What do we want to see? I want to know about Denver. I want to know about Aspen. I'm curious about the women of Seattle. At some point, I'd like to get to Portland. It's not on the short list, but we'll get there. Got to represent Dallas. Like if I don't go to like Dallas, I don't know. There's nothing bigger than the way they do it in Dallas. So I have a curiosity. Also, for me, I want to tell the stories of places I've been. And that's something that's changed in the book too. Like in the beginning, I really didn't even contribute. Like, not that I didn't contribute, I contributed by putting the whole thing together. I'm just never about me. If anybody knows me, like 10 years of whatever I've been up to is about other people. Like, I love that. But in the books, my editor would be like, oh, you're going to put something in there. And at first, it was like, oh, here's something about the city. And then I'm like, I've been to all these places. So in the beginning of each book now, there's like the story of how I came to know that city or like what my experience was. like in Vegas when my dad had like heart issues and we got stuck there for a week when we only planned there to be for a weekend. So it's fun to now kind of think, where do I want to take readers? Where do I want to learn more about behind the scenes beyond being a traveler? And then how can I kind of revisit what it was like for me when I first came to that spot? But great question. And we do have a lot of fun cities coming up. For you, how are you investing in, how have you invested in yourself and in your team in this business?
So many different ways. So in the beginning, it's just education.
Mm.
You know, we know things, but we don't know what we don't know. And so we always have to seek knowledge. Even when you find somewhat success, you still don't know what you don't know. So there's always something to be learned. And so keeping that as your forefront of thinking is always something that helps. It makes certain things a no-brainer, even if it costs money to learn what you don't know. And so I'm an avid person that believes in investing in yourself, not only with time, with taking time to study, but also investing monetarily in your future. And so I've invested both time and money into learning what I need to know that I don't know so that I can improve in my skills technically, so that I can be really sharp and quick at what I do and precise, as well as for the business aspect as well, so that I can understand how business works and how to make it work better for me, make it easier for me. And what I found is that systems is like the key aspect of success. So I'm just going to put that out there because I don't like to gatekeep. If
Mm.
you don't have any systems, you don't really have a business. You're just a busy mess. And
Mm.
so if you are a busy mess, that's okay because you're listening to this podcast. So now all we have to do is create systems so that we can have a business and stop being a busy mess.
No, I love that. And systems are so important. Like, I will say, of my Microsoft Salesforce years, it was all living in that, like CRM, customer relationship management, email marketing systems. And we don't like that when we want to have this like close personal connection, but it's about organizing data. It's not about whether or not, like, you don't have to. I don't send canned emails yet. I'm not saying I never will. I don't right now. Nobody's on a series of emails. I send them as I send them, but I still have record keeping systems because you matter to me. I should be invested in your data. I should be invested in understanding you as a consumer. If somebody wants to look at the business and they want to evaluate the business, they need records to be able to see that. So that's like a great, great point. And people do need systems of record. If you look at, I have like this playbook that I share with all the authors. First chapter, SOPs. First chapter.
Yes. You
And
need
I'm
a
not that
SOP
organized
for
person.
everything,
Necessary.
literally everything.
And if you ever want to scale, like you cannot scale unless you have systems of record in place. You just need them and they're not hard anymore. It's cheap, it's
Mm-mm.
easy. Like HubSpot's like basically free. There's so
And
many
there's
apps.
so many apps. Yes, we were saying the same thing. Apps are there so you can just make the systems even smoother, but they have to be in place in every aspect of the business. And investing in understanding that, learning how to create them, I think is important. It's just super important.
Another life hack on the systems of record, if you're not techie like me, like I worked for Microsoft, but literally I'm not techie. ChatGPT, you're probably using it by now.
Mhm.
Ask it, how do I do this in HubSpot? How do I make HubSpot talk to MailChimp? How do I, like, it will tell you all the things. Like, if you don't know how to like create a Google form, you don't know like how to create a Google Sheet, you don't know how to mail whatever somebody's mailing you to ask you to fax something, you don't have a fax machine. There's a e-fax app somewhere. Ask it the things because now technology is not as complicated as it used to be. You used to have to get technological contractors and you used to have developers do everything for you. And we really like we have access to information in a faster way than ever before. So really the only thing in your way is your own limitation. But structuring
Yep.
data, I couldn't agree more. I'm like such a data.
Yes. And I'm like you. I went to ChatGPT and I'm not techie. And I said, "Step by step, please." And it's
Yes,
step
like
1, step 2. And so that's what
literally.
I
And
would
then it's
highly
like
suggest. Yeah.
and take pictures too. You can take screenshots like while you're at it. Like even if you're like the other day, I'm like trying to like figure out where to put plants. I take a picture of the window. I'm like, where should I put the plants? Like, I mean, whatever. It's critical thinking. Yes, we should all use our brains too. But when it comes to technological stuff, most people shy away from putting those type of record keeping systems in place because they don't know how to do it.
Yes.
And so that's not an excuse anymore.
Nope. And that's how I invest in myself, guys. You just got to keep digging into what you don't know. The more you uncover what you don't know, the better you'll be, the more successful you'll be, and the more free time you can give yourself because systems gives you free time.
100%.
I got another question for you.
Okay.
So, just in the short amount of time that I've known you, you've poured so much into me personally, just from our few conversations. And I know that you going around the United States and pouring into so many women. How do you refill yourself?
I feel like, I mean, like, this sounds like so cliche, but like, I really genuinely, my cup is filled by knowing I've served. Like, it sounds like I'm being fake. I'm not. Because I'll tell you, like, as the kindness lady for over a decade, when I decided I didn't like everyone and I stopped doing it. I'm not going to give performatively. So when I say that, like, that really fills my cup, like, making other people happy means everything. Before, I used to try to make the whole world happy, all of them, like, go, like, everybody from New York City to San Francisco, giving out bags to the homeless, anything, everything I could do to make the world happy. And when I realized that it's a lovely thing to want to do, but that's an impossible mission, pouring into these women and being these like extra things, like we do master classes, I write big novel memoirs of ideas for them or whatever. However, I can pour into you guys. That's like getting to continue to do my charity, but also not saying you guys are, but you don't understand what I'm saying. Getting to still do that like meaningful work and like really change someone's life or make them know that they're seen, valued, heard, and important. That is so rewarding to me. What when I'm drained is when I feel like I'm not meeting expectations, which rarely happens. But if it does, that's those are the things that really drain me. Being someone who pours so much into things, I give my best. But I've also learned as I age with wisdom and with being around a bunch of woke women like yourself, is that I don't have an attachment to how other people receive. I just give as much as I can, as generously as possible, like you. I could charge everyone for everything I think of. There's, I don't need to monetize that way. That's not the way we do it. I invest in you, you invest in me, and now I'm invested. Period. And so I love to see that. And I also, like you, I want to have that abundant mentality that there's more than enough for everyone. I want to help everyone get a bigger stage. Every woman I work with does things with intention and not for attention.
Yes.
My prerequisite is that you have to have a servant heart. So women like yourself who like you could just stack up the cash and do what you do and make your money. You're educating, helping, empowering, uplifting, showing other people the way. I definitely want to help you. Like, of course I want to help you because if I help you, how many more people can I help? Right. So that's really why, I mean, like I said, it sounds cliche to be like giving back just makes me feel so great. But it does because I feel like I matter because something I've done or helped somebody has elevated or enhanced their life in some way.
It just made me think of like in like elementary school. Like I know that everyone has that one teacher they'll never forget, and
Yeah.
like they made an impact on their life, and that person like, I'm just a teacher and I'm happy teaching. But
Yeah.
for that one student, that person is like their world. That's what it feels like that type of heart. Like
Thank
you
you.
just like as long as I can make an impact on one person, then I
Yeah.
feel fulfilled. And I think that's beautiful. I think that is
Thanks.
everything because literally you can if you can change one person's life, I feel like your job is done. So that's awesome.
And that's why I love working with women like yourself who are open and want to learn and want to like be their best because this is all coming from love and it's all like mutual, right? We rise by lifting others, but we don't do it to lift others. We just help. And then if we can be of service, cool. Like, I don't know. I'm different though. And the sad thing is the reason I stopped being the kindness lady, not that I'm not there. We're actually starting a foundation for Slay for female entrepreneurs to fund businesses. Because I'm
Nice.
still here. But I wanted to be much more intentional with where I direct that because it is true. You can drain yourself. And I did feel very drained during the years of giving, 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 and not feeling that it mattered all
Hmm.
the time. It mattered a lot. I'm not knocking all the work we did, but in this way I can see it. I can watch their eyes. I'm like selfishly I get to see all like the output. So I'm very happy to do what I do. Speaking of like that loving heart, you have just recently gotten married. I don't know, you saw her ring go by a few times if you're watching the YouTube and in Greece. So tell me a little bit about your family, your support system, and what your fairy tale's like.
Yeah, so I am newlywed And I have a family of now seven. So it's my husband and we have five children. Some are adult children, and then some are smaller. It's a nice blended family. And so, just really excited to continue to raise the younger ones that are still in our home now and see them off to college and starting their life and supporting the ones that are adults and helping them in any way that we can as they navigate their journey. And my husband and I, we work alongside each other. He's a distributor with Ashtay Products. So, me being in the beauty industry as a salon owner, I purchase hair products from him. It's a professional line. It's the leader in global textures. So, it's a line that works on any texture of hair from bone straight to kinky curly. So, I love it because it's my go-to. And then he services the greater Orlando area and some of the surrounding counties as well. So we work hand in hand with education. I go out and teach in the salons that he services, as well as travel all over the world, servicing or educating stylists and like myself who are looking to gather up their skills and build up their businesses and just pour into other hairstylists to help them on their journey as well. And so, with Ashtay being a avid part of our life, as me being an educator and him being a distributor, there are also 45 educators on Ashtay team that have become an extension of our family. So we're talking about family. I can't help but mention Ashtay products as family as well because they've become family because we traveled the world together. So we traveled over to Greece earlier this year, and we got married with our Ashley family in Greece, and it was absolutely beautiful. And so, a lovely just being able to balance family and work life. It's been a beautiful journey.
I love that you do it all like so like it's everything is one, it's very, very nice when you're all in flow and everybody's life keeps life in, but the fact that you have kind of your purpose and your family all connected is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And what about for you, as far as you go with your family and things like that? How do you find balance with all the work that you're doing, especially when you were like juggling two jobs? Now that you're officially just the entrepreneur, like how are you able to juggle your personal family life with the work that you do?
Yeah, it's nice now being my own boss because I think when I was working for another employer, plus being a mom, plus running this business, my family always comes first. So, like anything comes with my family. If we last minute have a weekend where we get to be with my boyfriend's daughter, for example, like I'll move my appointments. That's that, like, because family comes first. And if I really need to take the calls, then I'll like go in an Airbnb room and take the call. But like, we're not going to not be there because life is happening with the series. At the end of the day, like the things that last are, the relationships with your family and your loved ones. Like the success comes and goes and it's fleeting. And so I need to always keep that in the front of my mind. And I think as I, again, worked in something that was much more personal, where people are talking about their families in every chapter and things they've been through, it put a more finite point on that's important. And also, I will say, being my own boss is like I only want to work with people who are understanding and flexible. So if something in life comes up that I need that flexibility, if I come across a woman who's inflexible, it's a real red flag to me. Like that's not my people because everyone I'm surrounding myself with, women like yourself, understand the importance of family, like understand the importance of that being a priority and would never question it. Even if I was like, oh, we're going on a surprise vacation to like Puerto Rico tomorrow, like can't make the call, so I don't even feel the need to make excuses. And I think as a woman in business, there's like so many years where you feel like you have to make excuses, for even with the job that I just ended up leaving. I mean, we're, hoping to have more kids and looking at fertility. And like I didn't want to tell them because like what if they didn't want me because then, so I don't want to live in a world where I have to do that. Like I don't want to live in
Right.
a world where I have to like edit myself
Mm-hmm.
for to be more favorable to somebody. So I think if anything, it's opened up more doors. I would love to like world school my son at some point. Right now he's in structure. If I could ever take a kid out of school, it would be junior high, like 6, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mess. Nothing good happens. Everyone's gross. Everyone picks on each other. It's just awful. There's nothing good
Yeah.
about 6, 7, and 8. So
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, my goal would be to world school for 3 years between
Mm-hmm.
like the high school experience. I want him to have the prom and the football games, the things. but take him around the world like you've been and educate him on like Romans in Rome and Grecians in Greece and
I love it.
Egyptians in Egypt. And if that, if that's in the cards, I would love to do that. But I think I am building the same type of thing where my family, we all work from home, we're all together, and that's the core of everything. And then the business works around us, not the opposite way around.
I love that for you. And I can
Well,
see
and
that happening.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, again, there's so many, like you said, there's so many people in the world. Find your tribe, love them hard. Like, find your people. And the way you find your people is by being exactly who you are, flaws and all the mistakes,
Yes.
all of it. Being who you are, being okay with yourself, the best days and the worst days, not because anybody else is judging. Who cares if they are? It's like, worry about yourself. You know what I mean? Like, only God
I
can
was
judge.
reading a book called The Four Agreements, and
I
in
love
that
this.
book,
Okay.
yeah, you okay, so you know
Love this.
where I'm going
Yes.
with this totally. So like, there are little subworlds everywhere. And so someone might be the queen of their subworld, you can be the queen of yours. So like
Yeah.
don't look at it like people are rejecting you or the judgment is there. You don't have to accept that. You can create whatever world you like it to be for you. And so I love that you said that because you're creating that for you and your family as you're taking a step into just full entrepreneurship because you get to navigate that and like you said live on your own terms. So I think that that's an agreement that you made with yourself and you're going to flourish in it. I'm really
Yeah, what
for
are the
you.
four agreements? Do you remember their be impeccable with your word? That's one of them.
Your word. Hmm.
Another one is don't take anything personally. Is that one?
Correct. Yep.
And then another one is what? There's two.
Uh, the judgments, right?
Yeah, let me look them up because I don't remember, but I want to tell people what they are and read the book.
Yes.
It's one of the best books you can read besides The Secret, which is my like second fave.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
totally good mindset book.
did you
Um,
get the CEO book, by the way? If anybody's listening
I
and wants to,
did.
yeah,
I did
me.
have to start. I started reading slowly, but I've been reading it little by little. Hmm.
Yeah, we actually took all these business books and boiled it down into like one 40-page book that's like, what's the point of all the things? The four agreements are this: be impeccable with your word,
Hmm.
don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always
Yes.
do your best. And I
And do
think
your
that they're,
best.
especially one and two, be
Yes.
impeccable with your word because those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. Like,
Yes.
just do
And I
you.
think with the doing your best part, I think that's where he was going into speaking about um making sure that your own world, you're doing your best in your own world. So you have to rule out those judgments of yourself because, you're doing the best that you can. And so that's what I see for you. I see you just doing your best and rocking and rolling. And it's going to be great. It's going to be an amazing
Yeah.
journey. Lots of great memories.
I am sure there's so much more in store, and I can't imagine because what's been behind is so amazing. But what's the next
Hmm.
5 years look like for you?
Oh man, this is a great question. And so, as life is changing and things are evolving, what I thought was my 5-year plan, I'm realizing is not.
Mhm.
Life
Okay.
is different now because I just got
Plot twist.
married. So now we're actually working on like blending our ideas somewhat. And then I have some ideas for myself. But as far as my business goes, I do see us growing into like a different type of thing. We're looking for commercial property right now so that we can build out suites. As well as continue to do the business, the Boss Up Braiding business, where we'll still have a salon, expand that salon just a bit with a few extra chairs, and then build out suites in the same building. And so we're looking to do that within the next 5 years. So that's going to be exciting. And then for
So
all the other things, like I said, it's a blur because we're still working through and sifting through some things, but I'm super excited because the things that we're talking about are just mind blowing, things that as a child I never would have thought of. And so I just think it's amazing.
and I love that you guys are like co-creating. That's just so great to hear, like the we in the way you speak about your team, about your family, all of it.
Absolutely. Let me see. Do I have another question for
You
you?
have one more, and then
I
I
have
have a
one more?
bonus one
Okay,
for
I
you.
do. Okay. So, if there was like any place like in the world that you could travel that you have not been, where would it be and why?
Four Seasons Bora Bora because Kim lost her diamond in the earring in the ocean, and ever since then, I need to see these over hot water things, whatever they are. I need their. You guys know what I'm talking about too, because it's like everyone's seen. And when I was first doing Slaying Tampa, there was this woman I was like interviewing, And she and her husband like went on their anniversary trip and like did a whole photo shoot in Bora Bora. And I was like, I really don't get like internet jealous. I don't. I'm not a jealous person. Like I feel like what's meant for you is for you. What's meant for me is for me, just like we spoke on. But damned if I wasn't jealous of this woman and her whole looking like a Barbie being in Bora Bora. Just a little internet jealous. So it is on my bucket list. I hope like I mean I've always said Bora Bora 2026, but it's like really coming up. So I might have to hold myself accountable on that. In a bonus question, where is it for you? Where is the place in the world that you want to go?
Um, so I want to go to Italy. I haven't been to Italy yet. I've been many, many places, but not Italy. I just want to go get like real authentic Italian food.
That's
I'm
fun.
such a foodie. So if you anybody who knows
Oh,
me or want to get to know me, I love food. If you want to get to know me, buy me some food, and then we'll be best friends.
did you go to Il Molino ever at Disney?
I have.
Oh, so good. If you
It's
like
good. It's
Italian
good.
food.
It's delicious.
Yeah, my claim to fame with Italian, I've never been to Italy, and you're right. I definitely is on my list for sure, especially that whole Tuscan sun thing that they got going on, the Eat, Pray, Love, like vineyards and
Love it. Love, love,
beautiful.
love.
But I was in New York City working, and so I used to have this thing where I would travel on my company's card, and so I'd be like, "Where do celebrities eat?" And then I would go
Right.
there, right? Because like, why not? It was their dime, and I had nothing to do but stalk celebrities. And I went to Il Molino in New York City by NYU. Like,
Hmm.
for first off, the whole 4 blocks around NYU totally smell like weed. Like the whole area of New York,
Wow.
so funny. So you get to NYU, you know you're in NYU because literally the whole thing. And then there's this little like hole in the wall place, El Molino. It's now obviously it's in Vegas, it's in Orlando, it's in Miami, all the places. Um, you walk in, it's like the size of somebody's grandmother's living room. They start feeding
Mm.
immediately. I sit down and I'm like, la la la, where's the celebrities? Then all of a sudden, all the waiters and waitresses start like moving around, like, oh, somebody's here. It's Al Pacino, like Scarface Al Pacino, like
They know where the good food is.
right? And I was
They
like,
know.
and you found the best Italian restaurant in New York. If you find where Al Pacino eats dinner on a Monday night, girl, you're like slaying the like restaurant.
But
So,
also like I went to Italy.
right, if you can't go to Italy, either go to Olive Garden or Il Molino. I
Love
love it
it. I
so
love
much.
it. I love the architecture there, and I just want to eat the food.
I
So
know.
that was
Now I'm
my
saying
place.
I always wanted to go to Greece. Honestly, Greece was like big on my list, and obviously you've been there,
Keep
so
it
is it
there. Keep it
magical?
there. It's so worth it. You'll love
So
it.
magical. Where did you go?
I went to Athens, I went to Santorini, and I ended up in Crete where we had our ceremony.
That's amazing. It's so beautiful. Actually, somebody I was interviewing the other day was in Crete. Randomly.
Yeah, Crete is
But anyway,
gorgeous.
well, how does everybody find you? How do they get you online? How do they keep more
Yeah,
Shay in
so
life? And
you
it
can
makes me
find
feel
me.
like she's the best. Like follow her just because she's like got the best energy ever. But beyond that, look at the braids.
Yeah, so you can follow me at bossupbraiding.com. And on Instagram, it's Boss Up Braiding Studio. On Facebook, it's just Boss Up Braiding. And on TikTok, it's just Boss Up Braiding. And same thing on YouTube, Boss Up Braiding. So if you just type in Boss Up Braiding on Google, you can find every outlet right there.
Awesome.
Keep it real simple.
Well, thank you again for being on the show. Stay on with me. Bye, guys. We'll see you
Thank you
next
for
time.
having me.